We Talk is a production of BFAC On Air.
Welcome back, everyone, to We Talk.
We Talk.
And if we're...
We Talk.
That's it.
We Talk.
Jenna is going to do all of the interpretations or genre styles
Everything
of singing We Talk because she's so inspired by this episode that we just recorded.
Everything.
So we just talked to Bravo Amici.
We just talked to Bravo Amici, who consists. That's a hard word for me.
I think can sit. They can sit as well.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. But just stay with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
It gets real good.
It gets real good. So Bravo Amici, who came and talked to us was Jeff, Grace, Simon, and Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let me tell you, if you are coming to see this show, like, you will not be disappointed. I just saw a very small bit of them rehearsing.
At the rehearsal? Yeah.
And it just, they're amazing and just so genuine. And even just throughout the episode, talking to them, genuine is just the word that kind of keeps coming to mind to me because they're just so easy to talk to.
So caring, so human,
caring.
Full of joy.
So full of joy. And let me tell you, afterwards, they just kind of took the time to ask me questions.
Yeah, we stopped recording and they had genuine interest in Jenna's dreams.
Yeah.
Like her hopes and aspirations for herself.
Yes.
It was a beautiful moment of humanity.
It really was. And if they are listening to this, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for asking questions. It really did mean a lot. So just know, people who are coming tonight, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat with them.
You are. And right now, if you're hearing part of that, that's because we're live in the studio as they are preparing for the show. Right now, they are on stage preparing the show.
Yeah. So again, you're going to love it. Some of the things that we talk about in this episode are just their backgrounds, how they get to where they are singing right now. And let me tell you,
it's always amazing to me when you talk to artists and you understand where they've come from in their lives. So, some of them, that's what they want to do. That's what they're going to do. They fall into it. It's just who they are. And some of them take other journeys before that's what they find that they want to do. And I find that
it's very fascinating
and inspiring.
And very inspiring.
For everyone, for people and their hopes and their dreams. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The other great thing, you should really stick around all the way until the end of this so that you can get the connection of the British royalty and Bravo Amici, because let's just say it.
Yeah.
They might know each other.
We might have been sitting with people who have sat with royalty.
Maybe.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all Jenna's saying. It's at the end of the episode, folks.
Yeah.
I feel so overly rejuvenated.
I know.
I can't imagine. I can't wait, seeing this show live and the rejuvenation that will happen after seeing an entire hour and a half with these people.
Yes.
Bravo Amici at the Batavia Fine Arts Center. Today's November the 18th. That's the day this is being released. But still listen to it if you're listening to this after the November the 18th of 2022, because it's still an outstanding exploration of the arts and culture and the importance that is in our human lives and the effect joyful performers can bring to a group of people. So, BataviaFineArtsCenter.org or 630-937-8930 for tickets. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Jenna.
And stick around while we talk to Bravo Amici. All right, everyone. This is This is an incredible show that we're about to talk about, and your lives are absolutely intriguing. So the first thing we want to talk about, we were in there. We were watching you rehearse.
Yes,
right?
which was so much fun.
It was so much fun. A lot of times, some people, I'm not saying people here right now in this room, might think of opera as a bit stuffy. Is that fair?
I don't know.
Jenna disagrees with me.
I love opera.
Well, I didn't say people don't love it. I'm saying that they might have preconceived notions.
I think some people do have preconceived notions about that. I was actually just talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, "Oh, opera." I'm like, "Okay, calm down." Okay. It's amazing. Simmer yourself.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think there can be some preconceived notions. Have you guys noticed that with different people that you've talked to or approached before, or have come to things?
Yeah, I mean, so when we first started the whole classical crossover pop genre 21 years ago with Amici Forever, there was so many critics that said you're dumbing down the art of opera, and this is a classical art form you need to have practiced for all of your whole life to sing these notes, and how dare you come and sort of commercialize it. And we were like, well, why? Because it's such beautiful music, and it should be available to everyone, whether you're rich, poor.
That accessibility factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's the point. That's where I was going with what I was saying, is because watching you guys, you have so much fun when you're up there. And I think that might be an element that people leave out of the equation. And that joy that you're having when you're up there and engaging with one another on stage is a massive part of this experience, both probably for you as performers as well as the audience, right?
Yeah, well, I think what everyone kind of has to remember is that we get to do a job, if we can call it that, if you can call it a job that we love to do. I mean, so it comes with the territory that no matter what the material is that you're singing, because we have a variety in this concert, the simple thing that we like to show to everybody that comes to see is that it is an explosion of joy, and everything should be. Yeah. And no matter whatever song you're performing, the end game is still the same kind of thing, is that we want to get as much out of that song as we can, and we do that either individually or as a duo or as all four of us, because we love to do what we do and we want to show that.
You know, and I think artists over the past couple of years have really shown the world that is important, that is key. And I know you guys did the same thing while we were in we called it an intermission. It just turned out to be a longer.
I've used other words. But
you were still bringing this art form and this joy to people even throughout that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the last 2 or 3 years is probably art and music has been needed more than ever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we were deemed non-essential and stay home. Now that's crazy, because the vibration, the connection, the music, that art, that creativity brings the world is so essential.
Yes.
Even more essential in times of disease or
chaos,
corruption or whatever else you want to call it. And yet we were shut down. So now when we step on that stage, we will never take it for granted again, and we will bring our joy, our passion, our love for the genre, and our connectivity and our fun that we have with everyone to the stage every time, and we'll bring it to the audience. So the audience will have more fun than we do, and we have an absolute blast.
Yeah, you do. Without a doubt, you do. Without a doubt. So where do you get that from? Where do you get that inspiration from, that passion? Where do you get it from?
That's a great question.
And how do you just continually bring that? Yeah, Texas. I've got some stuff here on you.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Oh, no.
So you've worked with Anthony Rapp.
Yes, I have.
Yes, he has performed on this stage as
Oh,
well.
no way.
On the exact 20th anniversary of Rent was when they came and did, Anthony and Adam, both of them came and did a performance here.
Aww.
I've seen
that's
that.
so cool.
I've seen that video on. I've seen that one.
That was here.
Yeah.
We did a
amazing.
performance of Rent, a production of Rent, and then they came. I'm like, wow, that's great.
That's
we have
so
fans.
Yes, I
So,
love it.
anyways, I
Yes.
interrupted you, but
No.
but you've got a long list of stuff here too
Long
that
list
you
of
do.
stuff.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I love this group so much. I feel
Yeah.
like every single person brings so much to the table, and on a personal level and also professional level. Like they can sing their beeps off, which is great, but they're also like so kind and like so joyous because. Having been in this business for a couple of years, like you can work with all kinds of people and people can be very talented, but then they can be so into themselves and not really focused on like the communal aspect of performing. And that's why I love this group so much because everyone is so nice. And we realize that like, it's not about like, oh, singing perfectly all the time. Like gotta be in my head and like drink the right tea and oh no, like have a bit. Like it's about having fun.
It is.
You know, and I feel like all of us embrace that and we have such like a positive, like, and I think I have to thank Jeff for that because he has kind of set the tone as the leader of this group to instill joy as part and an essential part of this whole process and the performance. So bravo.
Thank you, Grace.
So
Yeah, and
go ahead,
and I
Jenna.
will say, I've known you for all of 5 minutes, but
But they were a great 5 minutes.
It was the best 5 minutes. But seeing you all, there's just something very genuine about the way you interact with each other too, and what you're seeing on stage. It's like what you're seeing is what you are, and so
Thank you.
yeah.
That's-
So I just think
I just want to address the elephant in the room. Let's just
Where
talk
is
about
he?
it, right?
Uh-oh.
No. So you do not sound like you come from the same location as. Why don't we tell our audiences where everyone comes from?
Thank you
Where
for
we
asking.
hail
I'm
from, right?
oh wait, nobody wants
Yeah, Jenna, where did you? Let's start with
So
Jeff.
I come from a little country called New Zealand, where the Lord of the Rings was created, and it's a great country, but a long, long way away.
Yes. I'm originally from Austin, Texas,
Hey.
but now I'm in New York. So,
Nice.
hey, y'all.
And I'm from London, and again have made a nice, beautiful journey over here for today.
And copying that, I'm also from London.
There we go.
So.
Snap.
So we've come a long way
You
for
have.
tonight.
From
We've-
all over
we've been
the
so
world.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you assemble a group of people that is not only talented on stage in one way, but also exhibits the type of humanity that you are wishing and desiring your audience to feel at the end of a performance?
That's a beautiful question.
Amen.
Feels like we're in church or something. Like, yeah.
I told Jenna. So I'm going to digress again. We'll get back to the question, all right? I told her, I was like, I feel sometimes so like heady and stuffy when I talk. I said, Jenna, you talk. Go ahead. That's what comes out of me.
It's beautiful. So, I mean, the great thing is when we set this whole group up many years ago, the whole ethos of it was to touch, move, and inspire people so that they're present to the magic of being alive.
Yeah.
And each and every one of us are present to that magic each and every day. And so if we bring it and we feel it, then the audience will feel it. So that's the beauty of this group. We are not playing a part.
Right.
We are ourselves, and the truth and the honesty of ourselves and our passion for what we do comes across so humbly, but also respectfully. And that's why each one as individuals, we get to showcase our talent, but then there's a synergy word that we love where the sum of the whole is greater than each of the individuals.
Yeah.
And so when we come together as that group, there's this magic that happens.
You know where else the sum of something is greater than its part? Accounting.
Yes.
Right?
I was not sure where he was going to go with that.
Can we talk about accounting? Everyone's like, why would we talk about accounting? But there's a journey from accounting to performing here.
Oh, yeah. It's just a natural progression. Yeah. So I started life as a CPA. You say CPA here, and I got all my exams, and I worked.
I rarely say CPA, but go ahead.
and I thought that that's what I wanted to be for the rest of my life. And then I did it for about 5 years, and then at the end of it, I wanted to shoot myself in the face. And I thought, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I'll just do it for now. And then so I retrained, and I came from New Zealand to the Boston Conservatory, and I learned how to sing, dance, and act at age of 25. It was a massive risk, but I think, as everyone knows, if you want something bad enough, you've got to take big risks if you want big dreams.
How do you do that for those who are out there and they're thinking, I'm in the same boat? That's me. What's the push?
For all those other accountants out there.
There's a lot who we know they don't want to be doing that.
It's just having a drive and a determination. The risk factor for me was high, but at the same time, I didn't have a mortgage. I didn't have a wife. I didn't have kids. And that's always a bit easier. There's a lot of people that now, go, well, actually, I've got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And that's also a tough decision. So if you want it bad enough, you'll find a way around to pay the bills and follow your dream at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was lucky that my partner and girlfriend, who's now my wife, she was really on board 100%. And so she said, go and do it. I don't want to hold you back.
That's support.
So now we've been married like 25 years, and we do this together, and we created the business and the group, and we travel the world together generally.
That's fantastic.
But today.
What about the rest of you?
What about what are your
journeys in performing?
Well, I trained from the age of 13 in London at the Junior Guildhall School of Music and Drama, then went on to the Royal Northern College of Music, and I trained in vocal and opera studies.
Yeah.
And I sort of thought, at the end of my time there, I thought, right, let's go out, let's see if I get any work. Funnily enough, one of the first people I met was Jeff Saul.
It's serendipitous.
Wow. Exactly. Yeah. And so from there, it's just been an absolute dream. Working for Jeff, working in Bravo Amici for the past, how long has it been now? 11, 12 years or something. Yeah.
And she's only like 25.
I know, right?
Crazy.
I mean,
you are
Botox
hiring
is doing amazing
11-year-olds.
Simon.
Oh well, I had a slightly different route in, because while I was at school, I was one of my A levels was theatre studies.
Yeah.
And of course, as part of the exam, you have to do practical exams and a monologue and a duologue, and it turned out I'd got. For the duologue, which was a part of
That's a very interesting phrase. I have a degree in theater in America, and I know what you're referring to, but we've never called it a duologue.
A duologue.
How very interesting. Keep going.
Yeah, so that was from A Streetcar Named Desire, which was fairly nice. Anyway, so I got the highest mark the school had ever got in that moment, and I think it still stands, but anyway, that's part of it. But from that, my one of my teachers, one of them didn't like me very much, but one of them did, and she said, "Look, I think you should try out for the National Youth Theatre." So I tried for the National Youth Theatre of Great Britain. I got in at the first time of asking. It was a 3-week course in London. I then who's now one of my best friends was on that same course. We moved to London together. One day we moved to London. I was singing in the shower one day, and a friend of his was staying with us and said to me at the time, he said, I really think you should speak to an old agent friend of mine. So I spoke to that agent the next day. He'd signed me. I had a job within a week. In that window of that first job, there was a week off where I was auditioning for my first West End show. I was 20 years old. For Romeo and Juliet, the musical at the Piccadilly Theatre. I got that job, and I've kind of not really stopped ever since. So it was a very unconventional route in, but it just kind of shows that it can happen at any point to anybody at any time.
I was just going to tell all the aspiring performers out there that's exactly how performing works. You just say you're going to do it, and you get it this next day, and you get it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. That is a very lucky journey. That is. I shouldn't say that, because it also takes hard work and talent to do those things.
Yeah.
But everything has to be there in the same thing. And of course, elements of luck. If that person hadn't been staying there, I wouldn't have met that agent. That agent wouldn't have taken me on. And I didn't go to drama school. I didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
I just kept going. And
that just says that you're doing something that the world needed and wanted of you.
Yeah,
And you're here
I
doing
think
that.
so. And you kind of keep going. And I just finished my 10th West End show 2 months ago, so it just kind of it's a nice round number to round that off, and just kind of just the things happening, and you can make things happen and just keep going and persevere.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got you, Texas.
Hey.
You worked with Stephen Schwartz.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I never actually wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be a paleontologist because I come from a whole family of nerds. My mom is a microbiologist. My dad's an engineer. My grandfather's a rocket scientist.
Wow.
So I just wanted to be a doctor until 4th grade. And then I did Oliver. And I was like, oh
You're
my.
like, wait a minute.
And then I studied opera, but I'm an actor first, singer second. And so it was kind of miserable for me. So I I switched quickly over to musical theater. And then I've done Disney on Broadway with Whoopi Goldberg and Hercules, and just did Carnegie Hall, which was fun. So, and yeah, I'm part of these guys. Hey.
A great journey.
Yeah.
So I also go ahead. Did you
I
want
was
to say
just saying,
something?
so much talent.
So
I
much talent
was just
in this
thinking
room.
that.
Yeah, but you probably can't see this, but such really, really good lookingness as well.
And
They can.
so
Oh,
good
they can.
looking.
Oh,
We
we
do
got
have
4
cameras.
cameras.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I was thinking that like there is
Yeah.
so much. Well, I was sitting here like, hey, I'm Jennifer.
Jenna has
No,
a
no.
secret desire to be a performer.
I do,
She just
but
needs
it
to
doesn't.
kick herself in the pants. Just
No.
do
Say
it,
yes.
right?
Yeah, well, that's a story for another time. But I was thinking, like, just all of your paths are so different, and just like how amazing that you were all able to come together, from the different places where you are, and even from like wanting to go into it, from not wanting to go into it, like just. You just never know where your path is going to take you.
Right.
So try, keep trying. Apparently, I'm talking to myself. I'm giving myself a little space.
And all the listeners who are listening who does have a dream.
Right. So I'd say it's just very inspiring, even hearing,
Yeah.
your stories.
It is.
And where
Thank
you
you.
came from.
And one of the songs you folks sing is Impossible Dream.
Oh, good segue. I
Yeah.
like that. To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe. Yeah, it's such an incredible, powerful song, and we open the show with it, and we get the audience to sing along with us.
Yeah.
So
Right off the bat.
those who are coming tonight, it's very interactive, and we don't just sing at you; we sing with you, and so we encourage you to sing along with us, and that's what creates that magic. And
Yeah.
I mean, we're blessed that we have an energy that people take away with them forever and ever.
Yeah.
Amen. And they remember the show for a long time to come.
So that element of getting people to sing along with you, was that something you were able to get the Queen or the current King Charles to do when you were?
Yeah, so that was, the Queen's favorite song is Lux Eterna. And so on our first album, we did that song, and then we got to perform it for her at the Royal Albert Hall for the Remembrance Day that's just gone, 11/11. And she was a massive lover of classical music, but her son, Charles, is also a theater performer. So he did the Pirates of Penzance, and then he's been a big fan of ours for a long time, but we met him recently and he started singing Tarantara with us. Knew all the words and I didn't. But he's just such a lovely man, and I'm so pleased, now he's got his dream of being king.
Yeah. Well, my friends, this show will be at the Batavia Fine Arts Center this evening. So if you're watching it today, November 18th, come join us today. If not, it's just another look into the world of entertainment and performance and the importance of the humanity in the arts and our culture as a society. And so we thank you all for joining us today on We Talk. I am Dominic.
I'm Jeff Sewell.
I'm Grace Field.
I'm Simon Bailey.
And I'm Emily Estelle.
And I'm Jenna.
And thank you for joining us while we talked to Bravo Amici.
Grazie mille.
We Talk is a production of BFAC On Air.